Okay guys, so we are back with another video, and this one is more of a practical video. By practical I mean it's not just going to be me sitting down talking. Well, I am going to be sitting down talking, but I'm going to be walking you through how I journal a trade from start to finish. So I've actually taken a trade. When was this? This was today. This was yesterday actually, my bad. High time frame. And I actually lost this trade. So you'll see on the screen here, I actually lost 2 trades on Euro AUD, which again, isn't ideal, but that's trading for you. We're still up the past few months. We're still up this month. So this isn't really relevant. We don't care about losing trades. So what I'm going to do is show you how I actually journal a trade from start to finish so that you can maybe learn how to journal a trade. Maybe you could journal like this or journal in a manner that does kind of act in a similar way to this, because I feel like this is the best way to actually go about doing it. This is what works for me. I've journaled hundreds of trades and this works for me, so that is what I'm going to continue doing into the future, unless I do find a miracle way of journaling that solves all my problems, makes me win all my trades. But I don't feel like that is going to happen anytime soon, so I'm not going to hold out for that holy grail of journaling. So I'm going to be showing you how to journal on Edgewonk. Now, this is an old account I actually have because I don't want to obviously reveal all the money and everything like that, because I feel like it's good to share like profit and profits, everything like that, but personal accounts and income and stuff, I feel like that is private and doesn't need to be shared. So that is the reason for that. So this is an old prop account that I had from last year. I've gone through this numerous times, but we had 2 months of trading on this account and we had around a 24% return, which was around $52,000, which you guys will probably remember if you are a long-term subscriber on the channel for around 11 months now. And if you don't remember, go back and watch, because it was definitely a good time for me in the markets. And that's when I was full grind, not missing a single day, just hammering in those trades, and it was working. So that's good. So now what we're going to do, there are multiple different ways to actually do this. You can either import your broker statement, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to show you how to do it manually, because maybe you're using a journal software that doesn't allow you to import a broker statement, for example, or maybe you're putting it into an Excel document or a spreadsheet. This can also be done exactly the same if you do have the same sort of fields in your spreadsheet. So we're going to add a trade here, and it is obviously just a normal trade. So we're going to put in the date now. And this trade was actually taken on the 5th. You can see here they have the stupid American dates where they put the month before the day. You Americans need to sort that out, because the English way, the European way is much better, having the day before the month. But that's for a different conversation. This trade was actually tagged in at around 2 p.m. So we put that in here. I've also seen that Americans apparently don't use the 24-hour clock, so they probably don't even know what 1400 actually is. So that's life. And we look at the instrument. Obviously on this account I don't have Euro AUD set up, so we just put in Euro AUD, as you can see, and you click new here, so it does actually add its new instrument setup. Again, you can pretty much choose whatever you want. We're going to create a new one. Let's just say imbalance. Yeah. What was this trade? It was a short, unfortunately, otherwise we would have been in some nice profit. Entry price. And the good thing about TradingView here, you can just click open here and just copy the price, put that in there. Exit date, that was also the Monday, and that was around, it's actually Tuesday at 6 a.m. Okay, and it was at 6 a.m. and we'll leave the quantity as 1. Exit price, obviously that was our stop loss. So if we copy this stop loss here, put that in here, and it was also our exit price, and our stop loss was the same, so that's completely fine. Net P&L or gross P&L, obviously, but let's just say it was minus 1,000. And our take profit, if we just put that in here, was there. Obviously we don't have fees because we're just doing this as an example. But what I do now, before I write anything, I quickly copy image, and you go into the screenshots and you paste the image in here. Usually I'd have a before and after. And the reason I do a before and after is when you can, all right, let's go to the charts for example here. When you see what price is done, it doesn't really give you a good understanding of why you're actually entering the trade. You want to have a screenshot. Let's go on the replay tool and you go back to here. I want to kind of understand why I was actually looking to enter this trade. And if I can see, okay, there's no candles, I don't know what's going to happen here. Well, obviously I do, but you know, hypothetically, I don't know what's going to happen in this trade and I'm looking to enter. That's why I do a screenshot beforehand, before the trade's moved, before it's gone into profit, before it's even gone into a loss. I want to know what I was thinking during that time. So I will also take a screenshot here. Obviously you do this beforehand and save it, but that's life. So we have the before and after. So we had the before and after in here anyway. And it's also great to look back on because you can obviously look back on all these screenshots and basically see the losses, the wins. Maybe there are similarities between both of those that you can potentially learn from. So that is good to have in there. Then we go on to advanced trades. Obviously, these are all personal. My entry comments, limit hit, perfect. We also have early FOMO entry, and FOMO entry basically means you want to get in the trade and not miss it. So you could try to get into the trade early, it hits stop loss. We try to get in early and it wins, but also that's not good. That's why I have it marked as red. So that will give a negative tilt on this trade, which I don't want, and that's not what happened. The limit was hit, which basically I'm saying that is good. Even though it's a losing trade, this is good in my books because I had a valid trade and I set the limit got hit perfect, and that's just life. And I'm happy with that. And as you see here on the exit comments, we have closed early, let it hit TP, or held after TP, which means agreed. Close early, quite self-explanatory. If you close a trade early for no apparent reason, maybe the trade was still valid, but you kind of wanted to be out of the trade because maybe there was a large fluctuation in profits that you weren't really too keen on. You close early, and that as a result is a bad thing, hence why it is red. Green, let it hit TP, pretty good. And we're also going to add here, let it hit SL. And we're going to call this a good thing. And the reason this is good, and a lot of people say, oh, but it hit stop loss, how is that a good thing? But when I let it hit SL, this is good in my books because it hit stop loss. I didn't close early. I let it run to stop loss. Your stop loss should be in a place on the charts that makes that trade no longer valid. So if prices got to that level, you don't see that trade going in your favorable direction after that's actually hit stop loss. Obviously, there are going to be scenarios where it does actually do that. It hits your stop loss, then goes to your take profit, and you can't really help these situations. That's just life. And if I actually let it hit stop loss, the trade was still valid the whole time, then that's completely fine. And that is good management in my opinion. Trade management here. Again, we didn't have to manage this trade because I think I was asleep anyway. So there's no trade management here. And I've never really had any good things to say about my trade management because I feel like no management is good management in my opinion, the way I was trading. But obviously closed early and kept watching the trade. These are bad things in my opinion. You know, if you can't just go a full few hours without constantly picking up, checking your phone, checking the profits and everything, then, you know, you probably are risking too much or you're not really confident in the trade, which is fine. Also, highest price and lowest price. I don't fill these out because, you know, I don't really see it as relevant. You could say, okay, max I was in this much profit and lowest I was in this much loss and work it out like that, but I don't really want to do that. Overall take profit hit, nope. Break even, nope. And obviously you can add a custom comment in here, but that's not really the point. Then we move back to personal notes, and this is where you actually talk about the trade. So I did my analysis on this trade in the evening, and the trade fully fit the plan. I set the limit and went about my business whilst letting the trade run. Price tagged me in and then ran to stop loss overnight. Good trade management and no errors. Just happened to not work out. And you'll often see like a trade like this, it's not really great to journal because I did everything in my plan correctly. You know, I'm not going to say exactly, you know, why I entered, what key entry trigger, because that is for my mentorship group. If you want to learn how I trade everything, be sure to check it out. It's not a great advert because the trade did lose, but trust me, it's profitable. Just look at my results on my channel. But you'll see that, let's say I did a mistake, I could write, okay, entered the trade early. I saw price wicking in my entry zone. I didn't want to miss the trade if it then dropped to take profit and I didn't get tagged in. So I entered the trade early and then price hit stop loss, which again was an increased loss because of my early entry by a few pips. You know, these are sort of things that you can actually pick up on. It's even worse if you do that and then win, because it means that you're kind of being rewarded for your mistakes and you're not really getting any consequences for making those mistakes, which kind of means you are more likely to just continue repeating the same thing. So we press save on here now, and you'll see that trade is actually added. And if you click here, you can see the screenshots, and now that is, you know, on our results. So that's minus 1k. Obviously, we're just going to delete this because we didn't actually need to do it on this account, but that's just a little insight into how I actually do my journaling on one particular trade.